Our guest Kule from Emanate is up next. After this, it's I've Got a Little Something For You.
Freestyler.
I've got a little something for you right now. It's Emanate band member Kule. Welcome to Sounds of the 90s.
Fran, how you doing? I'm doing brilliantly.
I am so good. It's lovely to speak to you. I mean, I probably haven't spoken to you since the actual 90s.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Wow.
A very long time. But I tell you what, we've loved playing your songs on our show. It's been joyful reminiscing.
Yeah, it's like something I've been looking back and people have been posting things about Emanate, and some of the stuff I haven't really seen. And some of the stuff I was really in shock. I was like, well, did I really do that?
It's the outfits, it's everything, isn't it? I look back at myself from the 90s and can't bear it.
The whole thing.
Oh, the dancing was fantastic. You guys were known for your moves.
Yeah, we worked on it quite hard at Pineapple Studios. We did quite a lot of stuff. But I think with the group, we really enjoyed dancing and performing as well. So every time we were on stage, we just like, okay, every performance we do is going to be our very first one.
And what are you up to these days?
I have just presently released my full single, I Will Always, and I'm also getting myself ready to release my very, very first solo EP.
Amazing.
Which is kind of, we're kind of ruffling with the title of Emotional Roller Coaster.
Nice, I like it. Well, that's been the last 12 months for sure.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
We love that. Awesome. Well, look, let's get stuck into the 90s. First of all, can you tell me about your favourite object from that decade?
Oh, for my favourite object, it has to be the Discman. I used to carry that around with me all the time. I played Mike and Mechanics. I played Incognito, and it was kind of with me all the time. And I also used to kind of do this thing where you kind of listen to it and I'll just kind of do some vocal stuff on top of it.
Although we've discussed the Discman on this show before, and not the most practical way to listen to music, because if you moved, it jumped.
Well, definitely, and especially if you, it was supposed to be portable. So if you carried it with you and you kind of turned it sideways,
yeah, useless.
Everything would just disappear. So you actually literally had to hold it in your hand and walk around. You looked a bit weird.
I know. It was almost better having a Walkman before Discman were invented. A Walkman was more practical.
Exactly. I think the idea was good. It was a really good idea. But like you said, in practice, it kind of didn't work.
I know. It's just ludicrous. Great idea, terrible execution. Anyway, let's talk about your first track from the 90s that you want to hear.
My first track from the 90s is a person that I admire greatly, and it just so happened we managed to beat him on the charts, which for me I felt like was the number one. It was Seal, and it was Kiss from a Rose.
I love this song so much. Let's play it. Seal, Kiss from a Rose.
There used to be a graying tower alone on the sea. You became the light on the dark side of me. Love remains now that your rose is in bloom. A light hits the glue on the grave.
Oh, lovely to hear that song. It's one of my all-time favourite 90s songs. It just brings back so many good memories. Thank you, Kule.
It's like, I think it's one of those things I started looking at different artists and especially different UK artists. I think the reason why I liked him was very, very unique. Vocally, just very unique.
Yeah.
You couldn't emulate him at all. He was just being him.
So good. So good. Let's move on to your favourite place from the 90s. What would it be?
It's got a bit of a story to it. Was going to Covent Garden. So I used to be in a group called Spirit. It was like a cappella group called Spirit. And it was me, two friends of mine, a guy named Connor Reeves as well that released a couple of singles. And we dared ourselves to do some a cappella singing in Covent Garden. We kind of walked up the stairs, you go up these stairs, and we stopped at the stairs and right, we're going to do it now. So we started to sing a cappella. And the thing what happened, what we never expected, is that we blocked up the whole of the tube station, and the police came along and said to us, guys, you sound really good, but you kind of have to move on. And then when we looked back, we realised people were just staring at us. We was like, oh. But I think
That's so cool.
Yeah, at the end of the night, I think we got like £150. We just went and got some food. It was like a really good experience. It was a good experience because it was like us testing ourselves as singers and just going out and doing stuff. But I love the entertainment in Covent Garden and like just to seeing the acts and stuff.
There's probably nothing more scary because you're not going there with an audience that necessarily know who you are, what you're going to do. So you're just putting yourself out there. So it's a great test to sort of see how you fare.
Yeah, literally we had nothing. It's like, just do it. We're just going to do it and just see what happens. And it was just like...
Good for you.
It was really cool.
So let's say Covent Garden, that was the place for you in the 90s. And it's still such a lovely place of creativity now. So lovely. And what's the next song that you want to hear?
So the next song for me is definitely and has to be Joe. I Don't Want to Play. That is, Joe is another person that is pretty unique, an American artist called Joe. He's really, really unique in vocally and everything else. And the way he comes across and the way he sings is just like, for me, is brilliant. I used to listen to him so much. So that was the one for me.
Well, let's do it right now. This is Joe, Don't Want to Be a Player from 1997. That was Joe. Thank you for picking that Cool Tea. We're going to now move on to your favourite event from the 90s.
So because we were kind of out doing our stuff and we were touring and stuff, the ultimate thing has to be for me is doing the Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation World Tour.
No, you did not.
Yes, we did.
Oh my God, I'm a massive Janet fan.
We did the European leg of the tour. So we toured Europe with her, and it was where that we had a massive fan base in France and all these other places, and she wasn't so well known, so it was kind of worked hand in hand. But that was the best experience of my life. It's one of those experiences that you kind of tell your kids and go, I toured with Janet, you know. They look at you and go, no, you didn't.
Did you get to actually hang out with her much?
Yeah, we got to see her when we did Wembley Stadium, which was the last show. We got to see her and have a chat with her. The dancers were incredible. The backing vocals, the musicians were awesome. And we always had this guy that he was kind of in charge of all the stage stripping down, and he used to knock on our doors and he used to say to us, guys, time to make that move. And we were like, what? And it's like, you had to be ready. It was that professional. You had to be ready. There's no kind of delay. And the professionalism they had, it made me think, like, this is how it's supposed to be.
Wow.
And it was such a good show, and every show we did in every country was brilliant.
Oh, so jealous! How wonderful! What an experience!
It was awesome, man.
That is the 90s, just incredible. Janet touring, it was always such a huge deal. I managed to go to the Velvet Rope tour, which was incredible, like so amazing. But Rhythm Nation that video still is one of my favourite 90s music videos.
The dancing in Rhythm Nation,
because
she performed that on stage, and I was like, oh my God. This is incredible.
Insane. And what's the last track that you want to hear, Cool T?
So my last track is a track that stayed with me for a good set of years. And I do admire this band. It's Incognito, Still a Friend of Mine. It was one of those things that every time I hear it, it kind of brings back loads of good memories and loads of happy memories for me. It doesn't matter how old it gets, it is a track.
Well, let's play this for you right now. Cool T, thank you so much for being on 3 Styler. This is Incognito.
Sounds of the 90s.
On BBC Radio 2.